Prodigies, the Freshmen, the Highlands, all those groups that if someone could cabbage onto a name and keep it, they would. Well, the Ink Spots have been around since like the 30s, and they've just carried the name. Now this was 1975 or 76. Now certainly those guys would have had to have been 90 years old to perform, and my dad got mad. I remember he goes out and he goes, "What a rip! That's not the Ink Spots." And I said, "Dad, you know, did you expect it to be the original Ink Spots?" He says, "No, you should have heard them in their prime. These guys have lost it. I don't know who these guys are, but this is not the Ink Spots." So I found an Ink Spots record where they sing Barbershop.
Can I give you just a little quick story
Sure.
on the Ink Spots? My daughter was in a litigation thing for some real estate, and she was waiting to go on. The case before her was the Ink Spot guy, the manager and the guy that sang a lead in an Ink Spot group. The guy that sang the lead was demanding money from the manager. The manager wasn't giving it to him because he said, "You're no good, you can't sing."
You can't sing anymore.
The guy saying, "I got a gold record, I can sing." He was saying some kind of gold record from some doo-wop number or something at all. They just picked him out and put him in charge.
See, and again, a guy that was in a formation of the Ink Spots who owns the name. That's what's funny. If you ever see a group advertised in Vegas or Tahoe, the Penguins live tonight, you know, the Platters. Find out which version of the Platters it is. There's 5 versions of the Platters still performing. One with each has an original member in each one of those 5 groups, but they all own rights to the name. So you never know who you're hearing. Now you think to yourself, wait a minute, if those 5 are still alive, why aren't they still the Platters as we know them? But it's lawsuits, and it's, hey, you know, I'm the one that wrote the damn song, and if I hadn't came up with the word crooning time, it never would have been a hit. And they fight, they break up, they split the name up, and you never know really what you're getting, right? So I finally looked through a bunch of records, found an original of the Ink Spots, and Sweet Adeline, Wild Irish Rose, China Harvest Moon, and you think you're going to hear Barbershop, but. And by the way, the only song on the record that doesn't start out with do 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 do. Pick up any Ink Spot record, they all start with that old Wagon Wheels intro, right? Except this one. Yeah, there we go. But again, a unique style anyway, right?
Be sure it's true when you say it's a sin to tell.
What's that?
Millions of hearts have been broken just because these words were spoken. I love you, yes I do.
And you come in on chorus.
I love you. If you break my heart, I'll die.
All the chords are there.
So be sure it's true when you say I love you. It's a sin to
Now my favorite parts were the talking parts of the Ink Spots, right? The bass. It was too cool for words.
Now you better be sure that's true. As you say I love you. Honey child, don't you know it's a sin to tell a lie? A whole lot of heart have been broken. You know why they were broken? Just for these foolish little words. That was love. You know what they were?
He fits in so many words in the list.
I love you. Darling, you know doggone well I love you. And if you break my heart, I've got to die.
I've got to die.
So you better be sure that's true. When you come running up here saying, I love you, cause it's a sin to tell a lie. I love you, yes I do.
Yeah, on this record, it says, the Ink Spots, harmonize all the good old barbershop favorites. We're going. The only time you hear any chords are near the end, like a very song.
It's true when you say I love you.
Here's some chords.
It's a sin to tell.
Pretty voice.
Oh,
Again, another guy again who effortlessly just kind of just sings a tune, and all their songs are like that. If you listen to them, you can buy any Ink Spots album. I don't care if you just want to hear them, go buy any of them because they're all like beyond the reef, honey child, beyond the reef. You can make up any Ink Spot song, right? Okay, now here's another one. It was one of these ones that the guy knew he had me over a barrel when I bought the record because I wanted it so bad, and it said, sing all the famous hits of all the great quartets on the front of it. And I turned the back and it says Buffalo Bills, Hi-Lo's, Pied Pipers, all these groups, and it's sung by
Light a rose, oh, light a rose.
the Ames Brothers.
Light a rose, I'm home again, rose, to get the sun.
It changed the melody and everything.
My sky. Light a rose, I'm home again, rose, about 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong, ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong, ding, at the least suggestion, I pop the question. Light a rose, I'm home again, rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Light a rose, now everyone knows that I am hoping you're the same. So here is my love song, not fancy or fine. Light a rose, oh, won't you be mine?
Now the whole record is all these great old groups, and they changed the melody on every single one of them. You know, because hey, that's the Ames, and it says in the back, that's the Ames style. Give them a song, let them take it, and you mold it, and it's like, yeah, okay. Well, this is fast forward to the other side. I also brought a couple of tapes. There's a couple of things I want you to see on the screen as well as the video. There's so many elements that I wrote down here, different groups. We've got gospel. You've got unknown quartets like we listened to, like the City Service, the Parkers, the Barbershop Gold, the Golden Gate, the Rhythm Heirs. Early contest quartets. There's mixed groups that have sung barbershop. Foreign quartets are really taking off now like crazy. There's so many of them. Oh, okay. You can see it again.
It says mixed groups, or the mixed with what?
Well, the mixed metaphor quartet from Forestry District is 2 men, 2 women.
Oh, you mean
sing
the
barbershop.
mixed sex-wise?
Yeah, mixed quartets. You've got the Airwaves from Portland, 2 men, 2 women who used to sing barbershop. Now they're doing all Pied Piper stuff, but did barbershop originally. There's a chorus from England called Innovations, which is actually a mixed choir that does sing barbershop and jazz. They're all Sweet Adelines and barbershoppers from England. They're directed by, well, he lives over here now, but Graham Smith, who sang with the Quartz Precision Quartet and won Babs. He directed them and got the group together and found that not only could they do a show of barbershop, but of jazz and other things, and they were doing tons of performances because they spiced it up with some other stuff, not just the barbershop that they were all accustomed to singing, but other harmonies. On this other side here, there's a couple left here, and then I'll play a couple of videos. This first group on the other side is a local group from Orange County. They're going to be on some shows coming up in June around the Orange County area. They do a lot of performing things. They sing at Disneyland all the time. My wife's chorus has them booked for next year on their show. They've gone back and done stuff out of the Pied Pipers era, 30s and 40s jazz. They do a cappella and also with guitars. They're all self-contained. And they're called Vocal Works.
How many are there?
There's 4. It's 3 guys and a girl. Well, actually, there's 5 now. 4 guys and a girl. 1 guy doesn't sing, though. He just plays stand-up bass when they play instruments. But they all start out singing barbershop, and they still do sing barbershop, all 4 of them. But they're really incredible, really good group.
One of those things with you, Disneyland?
Yeah, he used to sing with me at Disneyland. Tim Reeder, yeah, his name.
Skin, you dig me, give me some skin. It's easy, give me some skin. All you do, Jack, is hit your hand in mine. Give me some skin, hold hands out, give me some skin. Then you shout, give me some skin. You know you met a pal that's really fine, boy. Shake hands is all taboo when you come to Harlem town, boy. There's one thing you must do. Don't be a bring down. Give me some skin to a pal. Give me some skin to your gal. Give me some skin. Now you know how. Come on and fall in line. Now it's really very simple and it's easy to do. Why don't you call uptown and get some jive that's new? You'll find the head cats doing it and even the squares. Honey, you don't dig it, you ain't nowhere. Now if you think of something clever or you tell a big lie, get a smile and a wink from a chick passing by. You know you're so sharp in the game that you play. You're so hip, you got to say.
That's why they were booked by the Orange County Performing Arts Guild. They're doing all of the local schools, going out and teaching kids about the 30s and 40s music, big band style, and jazz harmonies. Now the next group is trying to come over here to the States and perform. They're incredible. It's 3 guys and 2 girls. They're from Sweden. They're hired by the Ministry of Music in Sweden to make recordings. All their studies and everything are paid for by the government. The recordings are tough to get a hold of because the government owns the rights to them. And I heard a CD of this group, just bootlegged through somebody played it for me, and I said, I gotta find out who this group is. Yeah, I can find them. Finally found a record distributor who was able to get the stuff from England, where it's all pressed. But by the time you get it, again, it's about a $30 CD to get it. And I just finally was able to work some out with them and get them for about 15 bucks a piece now. They're incredible. They're called The Real Group. And they're all a cappella. They do nothing with instruments. It's all, they do vocal jazz stuff, they do Beatles classics, all a cappella. And if there's some way to get them over, it'd be great to do some concerts with them. Most of the selections are like 5 or 6 minutes each song. There's maybe 12 or 15 on each.
What's that group out of San Francisco? They have one girl and 2 guys?
Bob's.
Oh, the Bobs. Yeah, there's 3 guys and 1 girl. I have them also, the Bobs, yeah.
They were booked on a few of the shows around the area.
Yeah, I did. In fact, I put on a concert when I was over at Glendale High School back in '89.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
You know, being a fairly new barbershopper, I like this stuff. You know, it turns me on, and it's young people singing. It's good. I think it's good, but the purists in our society would be offended with this. Am I not correct?
I think some, but I think what I found was some of the shows that, at least that I've put on in the area, brought in some other different groups and stuff, that it's amazing that when we did the show with the Bobs, yeah, there were some people that left, that got up and walked out while they were singing. I received 1 letter out of 1,500 people that came to the show. 1 person wrote a letter and said, we came and thought we'd hear a great evening of harmony, and we heard this junk. And now the first half was the Masters of Harmony, New Tradition, and the Bobs. And what I gave them was a big full-bodied chorus sound, a raw barbershop quartet sound with some comedy, and the Bobs, who were really out there and really bizarre.
I never heard anything like that. It was just amazing.
Oh, they're incredible, you know. But it's what you've got to do is, I think, from programs like this one, I used to do this quite regularly, play recordings, just kind of get your ears to thinking of some other things that are out there.
You got to get your mind a little bit open, don't you?
It does, and I think what it does is it gives you even more. You listen to some of this. Some of these groups sing real well. They don't sing a whole lot of chords. Other ones sing chords really well, but there's not much to what they do. You find that still barbershop, we do what we do best. Like I said at the start, we still sing barbershop the best, but there's nothing wrong with opening up, you know, the floodgates and letting some other stuff come in and steal some ideas. You know, doing some percussive sounds, doing some more stuff, stacking some more chords. If it's nothing more than doing it for your show, that's your bread and butter for the year. If you're still keeping it the old 75% barbershop rule, but you bring in somebody as a guest act, saying, hey, we're going to give you your barbershop, you're going to get it, you know, you're going to get nailed with that, but we've also brought in somebody that truly, in another musical light, is incredible, and we want you to hear this. I'm going to do a show, I have a group on here, I'm going to do a show, my wife already killed me, but I like to do 1 show a year and bring in something different, and there's a group that I got turned on to about a year ago, and it's been stuck in my head. I said, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and last weekend I finally, one morning got up ready for work, and so my wife said, it's going to be a Christmas concert, I'm doing it. She goes, no. Because she knows it means to sell the tickets and all that stuff, but I'm bringing in a group called the Cathedrals. They're a gospel quartet from Stowe, Ohio. They're incredible, and I'm just working out a couple of details as to how to mold the show. The idea I've got in mind is to possibly have the Masters of Harmony on the first half of the show, do some of their Christmas music as a Christmas concert, bring in the Cathedrals, who also do Christmas stuff. They do a lot of stuff a cappella. They also do stuff with pre-recorded tracks. Have them do their set on the second half, then bring the Masters together with the Cathedrals. All their music is available, all the background tracks are available. Have the chorus sing with them as the front group for one big closing, rousing Christmas medley at the end. The group is incredible.
Where are they from?
They're from Stowe, Ohio. They've been together 27 years. They have 44 record albums now.
Glenn and George.
Yeah, Glenn and George have been together that long. The group is just incredible.
What's their name?
They're called the Cathedral Quartet.
They do a show here in November down in
Yeah,
Long Beach every year.
Yeah, they just did one this last November, and boy, I tell you, if you don't walk out of there just going, man, this is, and they really.
It's Johnny's size.
That's
They
right.
can count the beats when he hits a
He can hit a low G flat, which is 5 from the end of the piano if you're counting, and the tenor hits high full voice Ds, and they really base a lot of their harmony around the barbershop style, which is what really turned me on to them when I heard a record of them. A friend brought in a Christmas album of theirs, and he just out of Disneyland walked into the sound room and put it on, and I'm in there putting my shoes on, and I hear this first big opening chord and went, whoa, who is that? And he said, oh, it's a little group called the Cathedrals. And well, now since then, to show how much I like the group, I've gone out and I've been able to sign on to become a distributor of all their stuff, got into their catalog system, so I'm able to distribute everything that they sell, including their videos and all that good stuff. Everybody I've played the stuff for walks away with the, yeah, you're right, of all the groups that you do play, you're dead on with this one. The guys are incredible. And they're just as good live as they are on the records, and the majority of their records are recorded live. So you're not hearing any mixing or engineering to make something better in the studio. You're hearing what they do live. I'll play you a cut of them.
Still one of their most received songs they do acapella.
Yeah, well they do have.
Stand on a box, square
Yeah.
box, facing each other on the stage.
They just recorded 2 more albums. There's 2 they do right now that are out that are both a cappella. One is a Christmas album. It's called Christmas with the Cathedrals. And another one is called A Cappella, Voices in Praise. And it's all the old, it's incredible. And they've done very few shows where it hasn't been a part of a tour that they do stopping at church service. They usually do, that's what their stuff has been, or they do a few fairs. I read an article and I talked to their agency the other day that they do very few big concert dates where they'll do it with someone else. They've usually just done their own thing because they're just kind of a word-of-mouth group. They're not like going out here and slapping their name on every billboard in town. They certainly have the money they could do that. They've made enough records that they could do that. So my idea was putting the advertising out as 2 original American art forms together on one show. Barbershop meets gospel, the 2 finest in the land. And certainly out on the coast, you know, we've got the Masters and we've got the gospel with the cathedrals. Bring those 2 together, I think would be an incredible evening of chords. I mean, if you love being a chord worshiper and just sitting there listening to some stuff that just rattles your breastbone when they sing, these guys do it. It's just incredible. I'll play you the 2 cuts on here, and then I just want to show you a couple things here on the video. I've got a couple little fun things. High lows. You got it. Can't mistake that sound, all right? There was a group that performed at Disneyland for quite some time back in the 60s who everyone thought were the Dapper Dans. They were actually the Mellow Men. Have you ever heard of the Mellow Men or not?
Yeah.
But the Mellow Men made a record for Disney, and they were kind of known as the resident barbershop quartet, but when you went to the park, they were never there. That's because they were professional musicians hired by Disney and put them on a record, but when you went to the park, you saw Ron Brown and Gene Morford and Jim Champ and Perry Carter singing as the Dapper Dans, and you think, and again in the Mellow Men was Thurl Ravenscroft, who was in that modern barbershop quartet thing.
Smiling through.
We should retire this song, right? No one else sing it. By the way, the other night, for those of you, I don't know if anybody went to the other night, the Harmony Sweepstakes competition that we had down in Manhattan Beach, or Hermosa Beach. The quartet we sponsored each year. We've done it 2 years in a row now. Clark Burroughs was on our panel again as one of the judges. And if nothing else, it was really a kick to see some barbershoppers that came out to the thing. A lot of them came out for nothing more than to meet Clark Burroughs. And he's such a cool guy, and he loves barbershop. He loves harmony. He's just a harmony lover. And it was great to see him singing with some people, and people going, hey, can we do that tag through the years? Yeah, okay. You know, it's about the 18th time he's done it out in the lobby, but he didn't get tired of it. I said, hey, he's a barbershopper, all right.
Make me wait, just leave me down on Main Street.
That's the Mellow Men. Tenor melodies up high, which they said they were a barbershop quartet, and we don't arrange tenor melodies. Bobby McFerrin, acapella all by himself.
On that Mellow Man album, are they on a carriage or a train or something?
Yeah, going down Main Street. Meet me down on Main Street. They're wearing old derbies and.
Be happy, don't worry, be happy now.
He was like the first innovator of doing stuff all on your own. You know, go in the studio, lay down 24 tracks of just him making sounds.
Talented man.
You know, incredible whole albums of stuff like that. Yeah.
The landlord say your rent is late. He may have to let
It's all
it.
him.
Don't worry. Be happy. Look at me, I'm happy.
Look at me.
I'm gonna
Okay, they're next.
worry.
On here, I used to play recording of his, and then I had a couple of guys that said, hey, that's a little far out, man. Don't play that anymore. He did Sunshine of Your Love, which was done by a group called Cream. And it was an old 70s rock and roll classic. And he plays air guitars, all this kind of stuff. They got pretty weird, but I cut that one out.
Well, you make it double, don't.
Doing his big platinum hit of Don't Worry, Be Happy. George Bush theme song.
We have.
It was. He dubbed it his theme song.
I'm not worried. I'm happy.
Okay, now this is the Cathedrals from the Christmas album.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save the world from Satan's power when we had gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Four guys.
From God that is our Father, the blessed angel came unto some certain shepherds with tidings of the same, that there was born in Bethlehem the Son of God by name. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. In Bethlehem, and Bethlehem was born a Lazarus born, to which his mother Mary did nothing take in scorn. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Joy to the world, joy to joy. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy, 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 joy. Joy to the earth, the Savior joy. Let men their souls
Lee is 67 years old.
while fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness,
It's known as a low A.
wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love.
Now, yeah.
You got a date set for this?
Well,
Sell them
that's
tickets?
the only thing I've got to work out is exactly the dates to do it. I'm just looking at everybody's calendars to make sure that we don't cross over on anybody else's Christmas shows and stuff. But that's what I want to do. But this whole album that they do of Christmas is all the Christmas classics.
Can you imagine him with a cold?
Well, you'd answer the phone, you wouldn't hear him. You go, hello? What? The bass is 65 years old. The lead is 67. The tenor they have now is 29. And the baritone's 33. And the guy who plays piano and sings a roving fifth part on certain songs they do, he's 35. The two guys, the lead and the bass, have been a team for 27 years, and there's been different guys rotate in and out of the group. They have a CD that's out. It's on a series called the Masters of Gospel series, which also has groups like the Imperials, the Kingsmen, the Oak Ridge Boys, the Stamps Quartet, and the Cathedrals. And it's kind of a discography of the group. It takes you back to the early days, back in the 60s, late 60s, all the way to current with different combinations that have sung in the group. You hear the different tenors. Some of them have, much different sound. This next one of them is one I put on that's It's kind of the, this shows off, this is about their fourth tenor they have. It's a live recording. Tenor hits full voice D. It's like way up there. And at the end of it, the bass hits a low D as the tenor's hitting a high D. They're like 4 octaves apart.
It starts. My feet to dancing. It puts that.
Recorded. They changed through the house system, and the one guy plays piano, and one of the guys sings groups, and the group plays bass. The rest of that's all recorded.
Don't understand. Rivers of joy, flooding my soul. Rivers of joy.
Quartet. They keep building it. You know it's going somewhere, but you're not sure where yet. And when they rip loose, they nailed it. Because they can put that pretty high. Shake you back down a little. So you'll hear more about when I'm going to do that. It's like, you know, it's like a calling. I've got to do it. Even if, I don't even care if anybody shows up or not, as long as they're there.
You're going to be there.
You know, I'll be sitting there in the front row getting a great deal. Yeah.
Save 50 seats for Whittier.
That's right. Okay. Now I'll just play a couple video things here that are just some kind of little fun things, just so we can get back in the realm of what's going on here in Barbershop. For those of you who might have missed some of these great performances, this is well, you know who the Quartet is when you see them. This is a bootleg tape somebody got me from back in the Mid-Atlantic District of every set they ever did, Foreigner Par. It gets better, his head gets out of the way. Unfortunately on this one, the audio is not real loud, because the guy bootlegged this from out in the audience. This was one of their classic parodies.
$24 for
Our niece.
We must move all the squads and the small fatties. We're just fearful, innocent guys. White man has told us little white lies, but we'll bury the hatchet between his eyes. While we put our land in the hands of the man who shields and bars. We put our land in the hands of the man for a modesty, a modesty. When we sign on the line, that'll be fine. Get off my property. Now we're jammed in a band as we stand on the tap and see. Because we sold New York, we sold New York, we really must be that. We gave the white man arrowheads. We got the shaft the day that we saw New York. So long, New York.
This was the year they won district. Believe me, all right, they won district that year. Yeah, there was some guy, he called me up one night and wanted a bunch of recordings. And he says, hey, I'll send you a tape, 400 bar, everything they've ever done. Okay. So I got this little brown bag in the mail. Let's see here. Okay, somebody said the Bobs earlier. That was 400 bar. Here's the Bobs. This is a commercial they did for ABC for an
ABC rocks.
$50,000 they made for that.
They do a lot of far out contemporary stuff. Don't
Oh
they?
yeah, well, this was a concert. Somebody filmed this off of TV for me. My husband was a weatherman.
He was right all the time. He knew when there'd be snow in Toledo.
It's recorded about
And
1983.
freezing rain in Niagara Falls. My husband was a weatherman, the seventh son of a seventh son, on a first name basis with that old groundhog. Yes, he was the one. Oh, he had a reputation as the master of prognostication, but it wasn't just the weather that he'd known. Oh no. He let me know when we got up just how our day would go. This morning we'll have fun, and then in the afternoon we'll have a little argument. But hey, don't worry, you'll win. I know.
This was live. It's called the Bobs.
Tell me what would be.
Best of breed singers. Dog show terminology.
It was to save me from frustration. It said, darling, let's eat out. Tonight you'll overcook that trout. I bought the head for reservations. My life no longer seemed my own.
All their songs are really, I mean, really out there. They write stuff that's really. If like they were to walk into a store, like they were telling me when they did the concert that I had them on, they walked into a store one night late and they were buying some stuff, and the little box boy's doing his job, and he's just standing there. And this happens to everybody, but these guys, their mind thinks in bizarre angles of writing songs. The kid looks at him and says, "Paper or plastic?" They went home and said, "How many times you're in a store? There are bigger things to worry about in life than paper or plastic." So they wrote a song called "Paper or Plastic," and he walked in, and the lyrics were something like, "I've got a bunch of bananas and a bottle of bleach." Dun, 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 dun. Then the kid says to me, "Hey sir, paper or plastic?" "Oh, plastic will be fine, plastic." "Well, maybe you might just want to put it in a bag. You might want to put it in paper though, because it might not rip." They did this whole thing about paper or plastic, and he's telling me all the things that are going on outside this store in the world, but this kid's whole existence is paper or plastic, you know? So they write great stuff about that.
So you guys are arranging.
Two of the guys in the group, the bass and the guy, the blonde on the end, he's no longer with the group, but he wrote a lot of. There's a commercial here. You might want to pick this up. It's called "The Magic of Disneyland."
Is that it on the Bobs?
Well, I have a whole tape of them actually that their agent sent me.
That was kind of like the ladies' solo, right? But
Yeah, but they do all kinds of stuff with the group. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Let's have an old-fashioned Christmas. Church bells ringing, children singing, mistletoe, night on the snow, night on the snow. I'll ride with my sweetheart, you know the next part. An old-fashioned Christmas, snowflakes falling, children calling through the town, people rushing round. With Christmas spirit in there, it fills their hearts. Sugar plums, candy canes, gifts beneath the tree. Christmas carols, only with me. Friends and family. We'll have an old-fashioned Christmas. Window shopping, people stopping in to say Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. On this old-fashioned Christmas day, old-fashioned Christmas day.
Little barbershop at Disney. That's the thing they had us do actually in February of last year. So it would come out during Christmas time, so you had to have all this fake snow and stuff around. That's some barbershop that's out there and around. Let's see. Okay, now here's where acapella's gone also. This is a group that was on the Leno show the other night. Now this is a group that wants to try and preserve some acapella, and this is called Boys to Men. It's the name of the group.
Mike Sanders. It's Mike Sanders.
Of a night, I held you.
They're becoming like really, really big. I mean, you know, their thing is they still realize that they started out as four music majors and got put together because they liked singing with each other and wanted to do some acapella and stuff.
What do they,
two more for you real quick.
do they make money with that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're
Big money.
big money. Gold records, the whole bit already, yeah. Now, this is the group I was telling you about, Vocal Works from Orange County.
And they were just playing around. I got their card and I couldn't get to them.
Oh, really? Here's what they do. It's just a demo video they sell out.
Got no diamond, got no pearl.
All three of these guys are barbershoppers.
I got the sun in the morning and the moon at night.
Where's their fourth person?
Got no
The girl.
mansion, got no yacht. Still I'm happy with what I got. I got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. Sunshine gives me a lovely day.
It'd be great on the show,
It gives me the Milky Way. Got no checkbooks, got no banks. Still I'd like to express my thanks. I got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. And with the sun in the morning and the moon in the evening, I'm alright.
What's she singing? She's singing the tenor?
Yeah, she sings the melody up top. Yeah. They're married couple.
Got no girlfriend, just don't dare. Tried to get one that's and there, and the one that I'm remembered.
But he's available. No,
I
they're
don't
Palm Springs Yacht Club still.
still doing it, yeah.
Sunshine.
There's a washboard pretty darn good. What's that? Where do they belong? They all used to be members of Fullerton. They're now members of Frank Thorne. And these three have all sung with the Dapper Dans at Disneyland.
Does she belong to the society?
No, she's the only one that's not a member of any society. Huh? And he just happens to be a professional bass player that they said, hey, want to get in a group? He was standing by the phone, you know.
Baby, I'm alright.
They just played at the Cine Grill up in Hollywood. They played at the Jazz Bakery. And, I mean, if you did like a show, you know, a theme of 30s and 40s or something, brought in a group like that as your featured act, I don't think you'd have any complaints, you know,
Right around
of
here.
doing that. Okay, let's see. Let's see, there's one other one here.
If you like music.
I'll give you a little, you have to have some class here, right? King Singers?
Yeah.
Who are they?
King Singers.
Oh, fine.
The faces are great. That was on the Carson show a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Again, you know, it's what's out there and what you can hop in and see. And for those of you that didn't catch it, then I become the bearer of gifts. There's I don't know if you saw this during the Christmas holidays. This is the thing that they were.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we have gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. From God our heavenly Father.
Oh yeah, the next to last part is really the juicy one.
Shepherds for tidings of the same. How that in Bethlehem was born the Son of God by name. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
The Jingle Bell Vamp, yeah. Also good. We had to put that down for residuals, So what was the name of the little thing you guys sang there? The Jingle Bell Vamp. Okay, we wrote that down. Well, I hope that in just taking you through some of this stuff that you see there's a lot out there to listen and see, and I certainly, when this thing comes around with the cathedrals I'm going to do, I'll definitely let you know when that's going to go on. The records and stuff I brought tonight, if you want to peruse the table for a while and look and see what there is, it's all for sale. There's more in the catalogs. The catalogs are $2 a piece. There's a ton of stuff in it. I even have a big supplement to it that's even a bunch more stuff we've added. There's about 180 groups in the catalog. Not enjoying singing, just that we happen to have found a niche that we like better than another, or that we do better than another. And